Hey guys, Marsing here, bringing another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video. And so today, as we continue showing off the AGL EZA LR Gohan in a bunch of different events, I wanted to try and do something a little bit different. Or I say try, I wanted to do a bit of a different team showcase here for him, because there's one unit in particular that has gotten another buff by this Gohan getting his EZA that not many people really talk about much anymore that I see, other than to slander them. And that is, of course, as you can see by the thumbnail and the title, the STR Goku and Gohan. So they were the Golden Week unit in 2022 alongside AGL Cell. Obviously we've been using AGL Cell quite a lot recently because he's one of the only 200% leaders for INT LR Cell. But I think the STR Goku and Gohan unit is still pretty good. And like I said, I only really see people talk about them nowadays to slander them, to either say that they're not good anymore, or even some people say that they were never good in the first place, which I just don't agree with, right? I think the unit is very good. I think they definitely fall under that category of units that they're not going to be good in every single event. And when you do use them, you do have to put a bit of thought into how you use them. So there are some units, there are very few, but there are some units that you can just drop into any team that they're on. They can go in any category, any slot on the team, and they'll just be good, right? And Goku and Gohan, unfortunately, are not one of those kind of units, right? You need to put a lot of thought into how you use them. They're not a slot 1 unit at all. They do not work in slot 1. They get, in the Goku portion of the card, like as we start off as, we get all of our defense basically from supering, and then after supering we get a chance to dodge, and then each time he dodges he gets a permanent stat increase. I think it's like 3 times. And what's funny is I see people say that the Goku portion of the card is terrible. A lot of people do like the Gohan portion, but they don't like the Goku form. But the Goku form can actually be pretty good as well. I mean, you see here we're at 6.2 million attack. That's with no attack support on the rotation. And then after the super, we have the chance to dodge, which there were no attacks coming this way. But one of the things that I've seen from this Goku and Gohan before, if you can get those couple of dodges in early on, that gives them their stat buffs, they will take double-digit damage from attacks from units, from some of the bosses. Not like the toughest bosses in the game, obviously, but man, the only downside is when stuff like this happens, right? Because like I say, they are not a slot 1 unit. I could put them in slot 1, I guess, but then that kind of puts us in a bit of a risky spot. Let's not get the 18 key super with you and see if they do actually somehow, see if Cell actually manages to survive here, which I don't think is particularly likely, but let's see. Yeah, 3.7, that's probably enough to finish him off. Now, one thing I will say straight away, if you're somebody that doesn't like Goku and Gohan, they never seem to work well for you. I'm not saying that they are this amazing, perfect unit, and if you don't think so, you're doing something wrong. There are certainly issues that can arise when using them. So if people have criticisms of their design, I think that's perfectly fine. But for people to act like the unit is just straight up not good, I think is incorrect, right? It just kind of comes down to the choices you make when playing, and there is going to be a little bit of RNG involved as well. Like here, for example, we can't put them in slot 1. If we had the similar sort of setup to the last turn, where the enemy was almost dead, there would be the possibility that the Goku and Gohan unit just doesn't get to attack again. And you've got to get their 3 super attacks in order to be able to exchange into Gohan. I think that's people's biggest problem with the unit. And I will admit, I do think that is kind of a flaw in their design. That the unit needs to super attack 3 times in order to exchange into Gohan. But the unit doesn't have any sort of built-in way to additional. So you are entirely relying on the hidden potential additional super if you want to get an extra super and be able to exchange into Gohan a turn earlier. Because otherwise, if you get him, even if you get him on turn 1, you're not seeing Gohan come out until turn 7. And once Gohan comes out, when he's fully built up, he's really, really good. But he needs to be hit like 4 times just to get his full defense. And then he needs to get hit 6 times if you want him to have permanent guard. Because depending on how early you bring him out, you obviously don't want that guard to run out. So there are certainly some choices that you have to make when playing with this unit to get the best out of them. And sometimes you are going to have to rely on RNG a little bit, right? And the worst case scenario is him not getting any additional supers whatsoever, and then you're just kind of stuck. Turn 7 and turn 8 is when you're going to get Gohan out. But this is, it kind of comes down to what I said about you want to use units in the right events. Like, not every unit is going to be good in every event. Now, this Cell event is a good example because it's quite long and you can stun in the earlier phases. So if you really wanted to, you could stall out the fight a little bit, like you know, avoid 18 key supers with the LRs that you have on your team, and just try and make sure that Goku and Gohan get extra turns to get their super attacks off. You can also do this in the Gamma 1 and 2 red zone stage. Unfortunately, I used all my attempts doing something else. But because you can stun Gamma 2 in phase 1, you can kind of stall a little bit at the start if you are getting unlucky with getting these additional super attacks to go off. So I think what we should do here, what's Gohan's defense? 325. Let's put you in slot 1 here and not get the 18 key super. And that should give us the guaranteed super attack here with the STR Goku and Gohan. Because he's going to heal, and then Gohan shouldn't kill. I completely overlooked the fact that attack in slot 1 was just him healing. Because the reason why I didn't want to put Carnival Goku in slot 1 is because if he gets hit first, he gets effective against all types. And I was worried he would kill Cell before Goku and Gohan got to attack. And then, of course, he didn't even attack, he just healed. So, either way, it is what it is. It means Goku and Gohan get to attack again. It means we did get unlucky because here we are on turn 6, which means we are not getting the exchange until the next turn, which at the end of the day, bad luck. My Goku is built for full additional, but what can you do? We still can't exchange here, so I think what we need to do is put you in slot 1 and then oh, because we had, yeah, I was about to say, did we miss a super with this Goku? Why is he not able to transform? That's the other thing that, unfortunately, especially when it comes to the red zone, which is an event that you can only take on a limited number of times per day, the worst case scenario for this Goku and Gohan unit is either having one of them in slot 7 or having both of them on the same turn. Because then you have to float one of them off, or you just have a delay, like if they're in slot 7. And then that's the example that we see with this run in particular, where it's then going to take you even longer to get the exchange to go off and then actually get Gohan out. Because the sooner you get Gohan out, the sooner you can start building him up. Look at Gogeta as well. Look at that. 100% on the dodges in slot 1. Let's go. That 70% dodge chance going hard. If it was UI Goku, I guarantee he would have got hit by that super. But our boy Blue Gogeta coming in clutch. Now, this Cell can multiple super. So hopefully he doesn't super the Carnival Goku at the end here. Because I'm pretty sure they're nowhere near being fully built up. They've taken a few hits. But they need to get hit 5 times to fully build up their passive. We did get the triple super, so his defense is actually going to be high. I think he probably lives a super now, just thanks to getting the triple super attack here, because he's going to have very nice defense on this turn. We can get the level 3 dodge, okay. Alright then. So now we can exchange. How many attacks have we got in slot 1? 3. So this is the other thing that I was saying about. I did start to briefly talk about it. Let's get the actual exchange animation in the video. But I started to talk about it with one of the things you have to think about with this unit is once you now exchange into Gohan, he's going to have guard for his 2 appearances. So this turn and then his next turn, he has guard. After that, his guard goes away. Unless you fulfill the conditions of his passive, which is for him to be hit while having his guard active. So in those 2 turns, you can kind of cheese this a little bit if there's a physical enemy later in the fight as well. But what that means is we need to get Gohan hit a certain number of times while his guard is active. So he's going to take, what, 3 attacks on this turn. We want to take 6 attacks in total. So that means on the next turn, we need to put this Gohan in, of course he did. We need to put this Gohan in a slot where he's going to get hit 3 times again, so he can fully build up his passive. Now, the downside for this Gohan, and this is what I was talking about again, this is why people are souring on this unit if you can't get the Gohan form out until you get a bit further into the event. Because this is turn 8. If this was like Red Zone Broly, for example, and we'd only just exchanged into Gohan, and then he super attacks in slot 1, we'd die. So, again, there are certain events where he's just not going to be as good because of the amount of time it will take you to get the Gohan part of the card out. And unfortunately, a lot of that is going to come down to RNG. Now, I know that's a reason why people don't like the unit, or there's a reason why a lot of people don't like a lot of units, is inconsistency. Because I think the number one thing that would make this card way better, and maybe even put them, like, have kept them in the top 10 TURs, is Goku just should have had a built-in chance to additional super as part of his passive. But he doesn't. Wow, he's only attacking 3 times. So this is the other thing as well, based on what I was just saying about getting the attacks off, is now on this turn, that means there's literally no point us exchanging into Gohan, because even if I floated him off in the last spot, he's only going to get hit twice. So that means I have to keep him in the Gohan, oh sorry, the Goku portion of the card. Do we die to this without our guard? Yeah, and then we get the revive. So, little bit annoying, but I guess it does cut out a turn here, and now we can get the Carnival Goku revival. Yeah, there's a lot of RNG involved, so I can understand people not liking this unit due to a lack of consistency. Literally, give this guy the passive wording ability where he does a guaranteed additional normal attack that has a high chance to become a super. And then I think straight away this unit is improved massively, because even if that additional attack is only a normal and it doesn't convert into a super, it then gives you that extra chance to launch the hidden potential additional. And so then you're even more likely to double super. Because if you double super on the first turn, then you only need to do 1 super on the second turn, and then he's exchanging on his third turn. But if you got the absolute god RNG, he could triple super on that first turn, and then you could exchange into Gohan on the second appearance. And then I think if that was the case, I feel like people would still hold this unit in quite high regard. It's just his main issue is how long it can take to exchange into Gohan. Because the thing is, don't get me wrong, like, I made this video with the intention of showing off the fact that this unit can still be good, but even in this run, I feel like we've had some pretty bad luck overall, right? Like, we haven't really taken a lot of hits with the Gohan. Now, on this turn, if we exchange and go into slot 1, we could potentially get some really, really good build-up on this turn, but it all depends. If Cell super attacks, like, straight away, then Gohan is going to take a lot of damage, and there's not really much I can do about that, right? So, I'll grab this for you. We might as well... Actually, I shouldn't have done that, because he's going to action break. I always forget we action break with the active skill from Carnival Goku, but I guess it's okay. That's 1 less hit that Gohan is going to take now, which is a little bit annoying. But you never know, that could have been the super attack, right? So, we get hit twice, we get a defense buff, we get hit 2 more times to get an attack and defense buff, and then that's when Gohan really is cooking. So you can definitely understand the issue that this unit has, especially in events that some of the harder events are starting to become a lot shorter now, and if you're not like transforming into Gohan until turn 8, and then even then the first couple of hits he takes are going to do a lot of damage, then obviously he's not really looking like a top tier pick anymore. But I do think the unit is better than people give him credit for nowadays, but as I've already said and will continue to say, I don't think he's like a top 10 TUR anymore or anything like that, but I just see a lot of people acting like the unit is, like I said at the beginning, either just straight up like bad, or even people saying that the unit was never good in the first place, which I definitely do not agree with. So, now this Gohan, I think this one is the one that barely got any build-up, and I think doesn't even have his guard still. So, we do have 429k before supering, and we greatly raise our defense on super. So I think the only way we really are in any trouble on this turn is if that STR Gohan in slot 2 eats a super attack here from Cell. But then depending on what AGL Gohan does in slot 1, we might actually just kill him anyway. Because remember, against an android, this base form Gohan has that extra crit chance. Okay, he's just not going to get any additional supers though, apparently. He can super 3 times in one turn, but he's just going to only super attack once, apparently. So yeah, see, without the guard, we take double-digit damage from the normals, but then of course we get super attacked. So oh man, I think this is the most fitting possible thing that could happen, is that we almost died, right? Because if we'd actually died, you guys know what I'm like, right? You guys have seen showcases that I do recently. If we die right at the end, but I think the units had a pretty good performance during the video, I don't just like scrap the video and re-record it. But this video, like this scenario, would have been the actual literal worst possible time for us to have died right at the end when I'm trying to do a video that's like, hey guys, STR Goku and Gohan aren't really that bad, and then Gohan literally just gets killed. But again, unfortunately, that was down to not getting enough hits in, which can all be traced back to not getting additional supers early on. One of them was in slot 7. Like, I could have just quit and started again, right, and made sure that I had a Goku and Gohan on turn 1 and turn 2. But with the red zone being limited, that is kind of annoying. And don't get me wrong, I understand all of those reasons are reasons why people don't like this unit. Like, if you're on your last attempt of the day and you jump in and say even if you're only running one of them on the team and they're in slot 7, that immediately puts you at a disadvantage in that event. So I do absolutely understand the criticisms that people have of this unit, but I still think that they're pretty good, right? So let me know what you guys think down below in the comments section. I've said it again, well, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I don't think they're like a top 10 TUR anymore or anything like that, but I definitely still think they're pretty good. Like I said, unfortunately I used my Gamma attempts doing something else, but I did actually tweet out a screenshot yesterday. I no-itemed the Gamma 1 and 2 red zone stage with this team. So let me know down below if you guys would like to see, and maybe tomorrow when we get our attempts back, I'll try and actually record it as a video. But I think Gohan definitely performed much better in that run than he did in this. I think the physical buff cell stage screwed us over. I didn't realize he didn't attack. Like, he attacked so few times, because if you get a couple of hits in with STR Gohan and then you go into that final phase with Gamma 1 and 2, there's like 4 or 5 attacks in every slot. So he gets fully built up, is getting hit first, does tons of damage. Like, he can look really, really good. But I guess it is what it is. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Master Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below for the Discord and the merch store, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.